Alright, so we're going to finish up this multiplying here, and this is still just multiplication, two trinomials. There's three terms times three terms. So if you think about it, we're going to end up with 9 terms in the end, because I have to take this 4a squared and multiply it to all three of those. Alright, so that's the first step. So 4a squared times 4a squared is 16a to the fourth. 4a squared times 6a is 24a cubed. And then 4a squared times 8 is 32a squared. Alright, now I got to take this middle term and I have to multiply that to all three terms. So that's going to be negative 16a cubed. Negative 4a times 6a is negative 24a squared. The biggest mistake here is you're going to leave off your cubes and your squareds and things like that. Negative 4a times positive 8 is negative 32a. And then this is where there's not really much room for arrows. So what I would do is maybe cover this up and just think about multiplying this and distributing what's left, to those terms. So, I told you we're going to have 9 terms. I'm trying to write big enough so you can see it on the camera. So I might run out of room here, but this is negative 28a squared minus 42a. So, negative 7 times 6a, and then negative 7 times 8 is negative 56. Alright, so I have 9 terms. When you do a 3 terms by 3 terms, you're going to end up with 9 terms before you simplify. And so it looks like we have that. Now, we have to be careful here. Looks like we have 2 a to the thirds. So that's going to be 8. Positive 8 a to the third. How many squareds do we have? We have, it looks like positive 8a. Oops, forgot one, see? So we have a negative 28a squared. Alright, I just want to make sure I was right there. So negative 28 and negative 24 plus the 32 is going to be negative, so I just cross this out, negative 20a squared. And then finally I have, sometimes I've had students put like different shapes, when you're circling them or whatever, just so you can keep them straight. That looks like negative 74a, and then a negative 56 on the end. So there won't be too many of these tested on the quiz. I'm just kind of showing you and prepping you in case you see something like this on the ACT or something. Alright, I'm going to give myself a little bit more room here doing it this time. So again, I'm going to multiply those to all 3 terms. So I'm going to get 12n to the fourth plus 12n cubed. 2n squared times negative 1 is negative 2n squared. Then I'm going to distribute this, all 3 terms. That's negative 42n minus, it's cubed, right? N times n squared is n cubed. Negative 7 times positive 6 is negative 42n squared. N times n is n squared. And then negative times negative is a positive 7n. Okay, now I have some more room here. And like I said, there's not really room for arrows, so I would just cover that up and think about multiplying or distributing negative 4. So it's negative 24n squared minus 24n plus 4 when I distribute the negative 4. So look at that. So 9 terms. So it looks like I have 12n to the fourth. Sometimes it's nice to cross them out when you have something really long like this. You can cross them out. Alright. Cubed, we have those, so that's negative 30n cubed. Now squared, we have 3 of those. So looks like I have negative 44 between those two. I add another negative 24, so that would be 68. Negative 68 n squared. Then I have positive 7 and negative 24, so that's positive, or that's negative 24n. And then, so those two are gone, they're collected, and it looks like there's a 4 on the end. Alright, so that's that. And then, last but not least, we have 3 binomials. 2 terms times 2 terms times 2 terms. And what sometimes students want to do is they want to distribute this 5n to all 4 terms all at once. But you can't do that. What you need to look at is, look at this as one FOIL, okay, FOIL those together, and then multiply it by this. Or, for, you know, just so we have a binomial times a trinomial, because when I FOIL, I end up with a trinomial. Multiply these two together, get a trinomial, and then multiply it by the binomial. I think that's what we'll do. So I'm going to leave the first one go. There's not one way you can do this, but I'm going to do that. So I'm going to FOIL these two, okay, or multiply them together. So 2m times 4m is 8m squared. 2 times the 6 is 12m. It's negative 32m in the middle once I FOIL that, and then negative 48. So that didn't change. I can simplify this. The middle is going to go together. So it looks like negative 20m in the middle. And so all I did is I FOILed these two, simplified, and now I have a binomial times a trinomial just like before. Okay, so there's really nothing different from this point forward. Alright, you have to, you know, if you want to call this super FOIL, go ahead. Alright, you have to kind of FOIL this 3 times, or, you know, distribute the 5n to each one of those. So you end up with 40m cubed minus 100m squared, the 5 times the 20, or the negative 20, and then 5m minus 48, I'm going to cheat real quick, 48 times 5 is 240, so that's positive 240m. Negative times positive is a negative. Alright, I got ahead of myself. There we go. So now, distribute the negative 8. Negative 8 times 8m squared is negative 64m squared. Negative 8 times negative 20 is positive 160m. And then negative 8 times negative 48, 8 times 48 is 384. So I end up with 6 terms. Alright, you can kind of just do the math in your head real quick. This is 2, this is 3, 2 times 3, I should end up with 6. 6 terms before I simplify. So I have 40m cubed minus 164m squared. I put those two together. Then I have a negative 240 and a positive 160. That looks like negative 80m plus 384. Alright. Okay, last one. Here we go. So again, I'm going to leave the first one alone, and I'm going to FOIL these two. I'm going to multiply these two together. Alright, so negative 2b times negative 6b negative 12b squared plus 2b plus minus 12b plus 2. Alright, so I know I went through that pretty quick, but that's just a basic FOIL. We've done that a lot. So there you go. As you could tell, I went a little fast, and I started, I forgot my negative sign, and so maybe I shouldn't have went so fast. Either way, now we've super FOIL. It's kind of a made-up term, but it is what it is. We're going to do 8b times negative 12b, which is negative 96b cubed, plus 8b times 2b is 6b squared, and then 8b times 2 is just 16b. Then I'm going to have a positive times a negative here, so that's negative 96b squared. 8 times 2b is 16b. Oh, I'm making more work for myself, aren't I? What did I do wrong? I forgot to simplify this. Alright, got way ahead of myself, and so if you notice, alright, I'll suck up my pride here and tell you that I did make a mistake. So I only showed 3 arrows here, and I really had 4 things inside of here. So if I back up a step, if I would have just put these two together and made negative 10b plus 2, I would have been much better off. So hopefully you're writing in pencil. Alright. I was trying to make this not a super long video. So either way, let's redo it. So 8 times negative 12 is negative 96b cubed. It's going to be negative 80b squared. And then 8b, that's going to be 16b. Times 2 is 16b. Alright, now here we go. So it's going to be negative 96b squared. 8 times 12 is negative 12 is negative 96. 8 times negative 10b is negative 80b. And then 8 times 2 is 16. Alright, so much easier than it was looking before. Negative 96b squared. Put those two together. That's negative 176b squared. And those two make negative 64b plus 16. And that should be it.